Michael Keaton and Christian Bale were ripped in Batman. I mean, ripped. And yeah, they were in that plastic, thing. But I saw what these guys look like. It was no like thing that they kept hidden. I mean, it's amazing. So that's not a ton of time. You think about these actors and everyone's like, oh, it must be great to be an actor. It's hard work, never mind learning the script, never mind being on set, never mind all the downtime and this and that. And you're talking 10, 20, 15 hours, 18 hours a day. And then you throw this workout in. So you don't have 7 hours a day to work out, but from what you're talking about, maybe 90 minutes, a couple hours a day with solid nutrition, that's a pretty darn good investment on your return.
Oh, absolutely. But we're talking about, taking somebody and making them the number one. We're not talking number 10. You have to be in your best shape and the kind of shape that people look and go,
right.
Oh, wow, that person looks amazing. I want to do what they did. And there's things like, for example, so with the women, you want to get the hamstring to go. What does the hamstring do? It separates out the glute. But what they don't realize, and what a lot of people don't realize, is it also tightens the inner thigh. Because we can do inner thigh like this, that's fine. But if we pull the hamstring back a little, now we're pulling everything towards the back. So then the inner thigh starts to look a lot better. That's a big thing because a lot of people, it's in the back of you. You don't realize what your hamstring looks like. That changes your whole shape. With guys, a lot of them, their pecs end up in the middle here. They never get it to go all the way up to the collarbone. You need the pecs to go all the way up. That's how we get that look from the top to the bottom. And so how do we do that? Well, most of the time, everybody will go, oh, you just do an incline bench press. Well, what I've developed was something different. A lot of my exercises, I've taken a traditional exercises and switched it, or I've developed a completely different exercise. But so the incline bench press, what I found a lot of times is it overdevelops the front of the shoulder.
So the incline is when you're at the angle, right? There's like the normal, the traditional, and then the one where you're like at a 45-degree angle. Gotcha.
Exactly. So everybody goes, you want to build the top of the chest? We go a 45-degree angle. Well, a lot of times what happens is the shoulder takes over. You're working the front of the shoulder. The top of the chest gets some work, but we don't isolate it enough. And we end up like this, and we don't end up with the pecs correct for the guys. So I came up with, you take the flat bench, but instead of bringing the bar to the middle of your chest, bring it up towards your collarbone. Now we're benching up in here. Now we have to go with a lighter weight because you have a lot less muscle at the top of your chest than you do in the middle. But now we're able to isolate the top of your chest and build it out and not get the top of the shoulder, front of the shoulder overdeveloped. And you got to go with a very light weight because we got to make sure we can get all the way down and up. Now we develop the top of the chest. It balances off with the bottom. Now we have pecs.
So the bar is landing basically at the top of your sternum, as opposed to the middle of your pecs.
Yes, and it's a complete game changer on developing the pecs. Abs. I look at abs as 4 sections: upper, middle, lower, and the obliques is the 4th section. Everybody can get the upper and middle. Nobody gets the lower and the sides. So I only focus on the lower and the sides. I figure if you get the lower and the sides, the middle and upper are like gift with purchase. They will be there.
Gift with purchase. I love it.
But we can overdevelop the upper and middle. And what happens a lot of times is when we're going through this transformation, men and women, all of a sudden the upper part of your abs come in quicker than the lower part. And guys will go, oh my gosh, I've never had love handles. And women are like, why am I so wide at the bottom? Because this is why we take measurements. You take a measurement up at the top of your abs and down at the bottom. Now we look at the measurements. I go, oh, look at this. Your upper ab came in 2 inches. Your lower ab came in 1 inch. So it's coming in like this, and the lower ab's going to take a little longer, but look, you're down 1 inch. It's not that you've got love handles.
I totally get what you're saying. When you describe it like that, I totally get it.
Yeah. So just be patient because you're headed in the right direction because we have those 2 measurements. Then a few weeks later, all of a sudden, the bottom part comes in and bang, you have the abs that you've always wanted. The love handles are gone. And all of a sudden, it's like one night you go to sleep, the next night you wake up, it's like, oh my gosh, I got that six pack. Yes, because you were just 1% away,
Right.
and you got it. And so once we hit a certain percentage, boom, it's there.
So, I mean, listen, clearly what you do is a very different. And like I said, I'm a swimmer, and I've swam, played water polo all my life, and I'm still a big swimmer. And I love it because to me, it's more of a mental kind of thing. When I'm in the water, I'm just like, it's meditation, but I love swimming. Um, your whole thing is very unique. And I think this is what sort of led to the creation of atumobile.com, especially over the pandemic. But really, listen, if pandemic or not, a lot of us are going to be at home, and a lot of us are going to be, not without these services or ancillary elements of in life, maybe because we choose to, even, when we get out of this situation. So tell us about how you created atumobile.com and give us kind of an
Yeah.
overview, and how is this unique?
Yeah, this is kind of the craziest story. About 4 years ago, I was going to write another fitness book. And I thought to myself, how lame is that? Uh, Pictures and description, pictures and description. Everything needs to be video. So then I decided I have a great idea. I'm going to create a program where, because all my clients, when they travel, they say to me, can we do Zooms? Can we do this? And this was pre-Zoom. It was with whatever, Skype or something
Right. Yeah, I
before.
remember Skype. Sure.
Yeah. And I was like, and sometimes they're in Africa, they're in Asia, and the times don't match up. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I came up with an idea. Why don't I create a program where you can follow my program wherever you are in the world, either at home or in the gym?